Angel Conwell, how was it like for you dating her at that time in the prime of her career? Her being in, Baby Boy, The
Yeah.
Wash, Soul Plane. Like, how was that like? Was it people trying to get at her?
Um, Here's the funny thing about that relationship. It was it was tough, I think. I was probably insecure because she was so attractive. You know what I mean? And I was coming off of being smart guy, smart guy shape, and then ripping up, dropping 40, 50 pounds. And then, but the cool thing is I knew her before that, but I remember things distinctly. Like, my house was kind of like the party house type of thing. I'd have people over. I did a lot of functions and things like that. And that's how we met the first couple of times. But I had met her because I was, I knew a friend of hers. And, she's like, "This is my friend Angel," type of thing. It was just, damn, okay, nice to meet you, that type of thing. And then when I got the role, when I got to working out for the role, because that was a 3-month period there. We met in that time. So now she saw me from, how I was to just working out every day. And now, now a month or 2 months into it, remember she came by and she looked at me, she said, "Okay, I see you." She said, "I see you getting right. Go ahead now." And I was like, "All right, watch it." With the compliments, you know what I mean? But that was it. And then the next time I saw her was at the read for Baby Boy. And then she didn't even know which role she was going out for exactly. She just knew it was Kim, and she said she thought it was this. I said, "You must have seen the whole script," because I know a lot of times you just get the side, so she probably didn't read the whole thing. But so yeah, it was a bonding thing. Let me tell you what happens in Hollywood, why there's a lot of relationships that start with on screen and then spill over afterwards. I remember when I was in high school, I had to do a play, and shout out to Mrs. Horn. She changed her name to Mrs. Sweeney, who was my brother's acting coach. Well, she was the teacher at North Hollywood High School for drama, right? So my brother went there, and then 9 years later, I go there, and I had her. And she was excellent. She was great at interpreting lines and stuff for us. Like, we did 2 festivals, Shakespeare and a fall festival, and she would translate Shakespeare in a way that we would know how to do it. And I want to win in first place in this thing and so forth and so on. Right. So there was one time we were doing a play, and I was cast as the lead, and there was a girl that was cast as the love interest, the opposite of me, and I was not attracted to her. I'll just put it that way. She wasn't unattractive; she just wasn't my type. And the teacher said, "So I want you two to go out at like lunchtime, and I want you to, talk and get to know each other." And we did, at lunch we talked. "Hey, okay, see you at class." Now we go back to class, it's still, I'm sitting over here, she's sitting over there. She's like, "I see y'all haven't bonded. We need to have a real connection. This is what I want you to do. Come here. Both of you sit in front of each other, and I want you to take turns complimenting each other. I don't care what it is. Hair, nails, feet. I like your shoes, your glasses, your eyes, anything. Just give each other a compliment back and forth for, I don't know, as long as you can." And we did. We looked at each other. "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Man, I like your hair. I do. You know what? I like them shoes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like your nose and how it looks. Yeah, I like your mouth too. Yeah, your mouth is. You do. You got your pretty little eyes and your eyelashes. That's dope." She said, "I like your hands. Yeah, real masculine hand. Yeah, I bet you're strong." Da, da, da. We start giving each other compliment. But I'm telling you, by the end of that compliment session, I was like, "So what you doing later? Where you gonna be at? Where can I find you? Don't be hard to find. Don't be hard to see. You crazy." And we didn't start dating or anything, but the connection was built. Now, when we read these lines on stage, we looked like we were in love with each other, right? So that's the hardwired way to kind of manufacture it. But like in movies, they encourage you to really get along. You know what I'm talking about? So sometimes it just happens. A lot of times it happens. Even if you're just reading these lines, you're still looking into this person's soul and their eyes, and you're really looking at their lips, and then you kiss on screen. You really kissing, and call it acting if it's actually happening. You know what I mean? So um, there's that part of Angel and I, and then I was really protective. I just always am. And he was a girl, she's with us. Well, let's make sure we good. We got her. Get over here. Well, open the fucking door. Make sure we good, man. Sit down. You good? You want something? You just no. You sit down. You chill. That's how I was taught to treat ladies and women. But with her, I was extra protective because we're also in L.A. and I know she's from the Valley, originally from South Carolina or North Carolina, and I'm really just like boom, and she fine as hell. And there's stuff going on when it's like, "Oh, well," and I'm like, "Yeah, chill, 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 chill." Not like cock blocking or blah, 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 but kinda. Yeah, yeah. I don't care however what you want to label it. That was my girl. You know what I mean? But it wasn't so much come here. It was like, all right, I get up. She's like, you ready? Okay. She's like, she was attached to me as well. You feel me? So I had a real extra sense of, protection type of thing. And then, romantically, it took about a year really to kick in. It wasn't nothing quick overnight. Oh, we did no. It was just we did the movie. Then after the movie, a few more months passed, and it was about a year of us being together. Like then we were inseparable. It was the type of shit where if I didn't hear from her in that day, something was wrong. Like what the oh, how you doing? We was really locked in, and unfortunately, a lot of traveling and then just the insecure stuff that me. I think that kind of this is the interesting part I want to say because I really want to say this. I was getting trying to defend my ways as a young man. I was getting a lot of attention from women that I never got before. Let me just be honest. I was a big dude. I was using these type of women I get, blah, 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 but I was getting them all. I was like, wait a minute. Me? Yeah. While all the time I'm in this fresh new relationship. And I loved it to death. We was thick as thick, but it was just like, damn. And it was hard. Did every time, okay, all right. But I did, and I was faithful and all that, and everything was good until it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? And then it ended, but we were cool. I wasn't always cool with the girls that I finished. I try to be, all right, but if it's something's over, you done with me? Bye. I remember, because she ended it. I may have made my mistakes, but it was her that was like, yeah, it's it. And when I realized it was it, I was hostile towards her. I'd see her at places, it was just like, it wasn't like, that bitch. I never say that. But I would look at her like, I remember she called me like, what the hell was that? Like I thought we ain't good. And I was like, you're right. There's no hard feelings for me. I'm cool. You was the one that was like, it's over. So why am I as you know what I mean? So we wound up being cool and we remained cool. But then the problem was when I started doing family time, they cast her as my wife. I didn't have any say in that. But everybody like, you the lead. This is Bentley's show and you the lead. She's now your wife. Oh, you pull some strings out. I said, hell no, I got a girl at home. I'm not trying to explain to her that my ex is now playing my wife and we got to kiss and all this. But I did. I brought it to her and I said, look, baby, sit down. We got to have a professional conversation, okay? It's a new job, but I'll get another job. I'm always working. If you say no, because I got to come home to you. I'm not dealing with this every day for 91 episodes that wind up going. Like, let me know if this is a problem for you. And like all good women did, she lied and said, yeah, it's not a problem. Go ahead and get that bag. Go ahead and get that bag. And the first year to season or two was hell. But we got through it. You live and you learn. And again, me and Angel, Angel's real cool, man. She's a sweetheart. She's a hip hop head too. So, she's always been a big fan of my music. And even now she's like, oh, you got that album coming out. About time. I know it's going to be dope, And that's cool to have somebody that really gets you and knows your whole journey. I remember with her, I'll tell this story real quick about me and Angel because she, and it's kind of funny. It sounds like I'm shamelessly plugging for some reason, but do what you do. She was like, I can't remember the first time I heard you rap. And I remember I took her to the studio with me and I'm like, my girl out there, she gonna hear this. She said she remember going, oh, it's so cute. He thinks he can rap. He can be a rapper. Oh. And she came on and it was fire. It was a fiery track, And I can't remember what the bars were around. She do. Somebody interviewed her and asked her to do it. So every time she does, she makes me laugh because she always says it verbatim. And it was fast, double time. And I was like, And she was blown away, man. And I remember I always laugh about it because I'm just like, yeah. She's like, you was in there showing out for me. I was like, I sure was, But she's always been a fan and she's always been a lyricist in ear. And, it's like when you write music, who do you write it for? And she said, I write it for the culture. But whoever's a fan of real music, fan of hip hop, they get it. They could be black, white, they could be male or female. You know what I mean? That's just the beauty of hip hop.
Did you have any issues with rappers trying to get at her?
They wouldn't do it around me, so I wouldn't know. What I thought was funny, I ran into, acting has taken a turn, to where, there's not a lot of in-person, which affects me because I love doing, I like meeting people. And now it's all Zoom and self-tapes and stuff like that, unless it's just a straight offer. And with offers, it's just like, good luck. But I started doing stand-up comedy, right? Because they were like, well, acting's going to be on strike, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, cool. So I hit the road. And it was something where I thought I always knew I can just kind of host, but like doing stand-up is crazy. So I was doing stand-up and I'm getting a lot of support from the stand-up community, but I ran into Pierre. And Pierre, and he was just like, man, I remember when I met you when I was playing Angel's boyfriend on the wash, and you was there every single day. Now let me tell you something. When she told me she booked this movie, right, I was like, cool. She's like, all right, you gonna take me to set or come check it out the first day? I was like, you damn right I'm gonna come to set the first day. I know how movies is. That's how we met, goddamn it. I let these niggas know my presence, you know what I mean? And that wasn't the time where you advertise, we're together and all that type of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no ring on her finger, she fair game, you know what I mean? So I said, where are you filming it? They filmed the wash at a car wash that was attached to a hotel with hotel rooms. Hotel rooms were the dressing rooms. You think I'm letting my girlfriend go to a hotel room to work on a movie set at all hours? I remember the first time I was there with her, she went on set to go do her thing. I was in the bed just chilling. Door knock. I opened it up. Yeah, it's Dr. Dre. Oh, what up, man? I was just, I was looking for Angel. She ain't here. Like, nah, she ain't here. She all set. All right, homie. Yeah, all right, homie. I was like, I ain't never leaving this fucking room. It's Dre knocking on the dressing room door, but I mean, the dressing room would have been one thing, a trailer is one thing. It just happened to be a hotel room. Now, I'm not saying nothing crazy about Drake because it is what it is. Not with him, but however, yes, I was there, and not only was I there, but Pierre was like, "Yeah, you was there like during all the scenes, standing. I'm trying to have a huggy, kissy scene. I look over, I see Omar Gooding with the bald head, fresh off a baby boy, standing there in the corner, not smiling. Yeah, you made it awkward, brother." And I thought that was hysterical. But the thing about Angel, very attractive girl, was always attractive. So she was also a video girl. She was in a lot of music videos with all these fucking rappers and shit. You know what I mean? So you had to, at some point, you just gotta, if I could be there, sure. But I'm not like flying out with her and just traveling every set. Like I never went to any of the video shoots and none of that shit. But the movie set, that's the one I do remember. Because Pierre told that story. I was like, oh wait, I was there. Yeah. They filmed it at a hotel. You damn right I was there.
So you was a little insecure in a sense.
Sure, I can admit that as a grown ass man. I was probably insecure because like she doing all this, she fine as hell. I mean, I got to know her and I knew that she wasn't about how she looked. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, that's a slippery one there. Be careful, brother. Be careful. She looked a certain way. You know what I mean? But I was with her and I was like, okay, she ain't like that. She looked good. She just overdeveloped, young, and just boom, added, you know what I mean? No fake nothing, you know what I mean? Everything just was sitting in the right place, beautiful and that's, you know what I mean? So, but all in all, she's a good girl, man. Good girl. Good solid, solid person. But yeah, it was, your mind will definitely play tricks on you when you're watching these videos and be like, wait a minute. She don't do that shit at home. Wait a minute. Batter up. What the hell? Why she gotta wear a thong? Why she gotta have a thong? She could put a dress on with it. That's hip hop, you know what I mean? And she did her thing, man. She did her thing.